Today we have not this, but this. The new GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition. It's got a nice LCD screen on the back, so you can actually see what you're looking at this time instead of just kind of pointing it in the general vicinity. And this records in 4K, unlike this camera. It's still the same body in a sense. They really didn't change it much as far as how it looks. They did change the screen a little bit, and they moved these lights here to up here. But other than that, the camera remains mostly the same. Everything's in the same location. You got your memory card and plugs on this side. But one thing that is different between them, the Hero 3, the battery's in the back. The Hero 4, the battery is in the bottom. Now I kind of like this setup a little better because you can actually open the battery door a lot easier. It actually opens. And then there'll be battery packs in here. You cannot use the Hero 3 battery pack in the Hero 4. It takes a completely different battery pack. However, according to GoPro, it does have a longer recording time on the Silver Edition than this White Edition Hero 3. Even with the LCD screen. I'll go ahead and turn it on. See the front of it? It still boots up pretty much just the same. And it does have a working incorporated screen. Right now, I haven't done much with this camera yet. I literally just got it. It is still set on 1080. So what we're going to do, we're going to bump this up to 4K and see what kind of recording it does. This screen is also a touch screen. It does have a lock, so we don't accidentally hit it. And the problem is, there we go. So you got your little selectors on the back here, so you can choose what you want to do. You can actually do playback. And we're going to go here to setup. And we're going to go down. And you are able to do photo plus video, where you can take snapshots of your footage that you're filming at the same time, loop recording. You can actually do night and burst and all that other stuff like that, time lapse, night lapse, all that other stuff. Let's see if I can find where to. There we go. Video settings, it's bottom menu. Okay, we're on 1080 Super, so we can go down here like this. See if I can get it to focus on the screen. There we go. We'll scroll down here. Oh, wait. Okay, we have 2.7K and we have 4K. I'll go ahead and put that on 4K. Okay. And I see we're on 4K, 15 and wide. Let's see if we can get that to Each frame, well, frames per second is 15 frames a second only. So that's the only option we have. And at 4K, we only get a wide field of view, so we can do low light, and it's not available on this. Spot meter, which is off, and Pro Tune is off. I've heard a lot of people who didn't like the Pro Tune. I'm not going to use the Pro Tune. The main reason why I want it is because it does 4K, and it has this nifty little screen on the back already without having to do a backpack. So, I mean, you can use this if you want to do a backpack. You can put a battery backpack on this. But, I hear tell you can get about 4 or 5 hours out of the battery, something like that. But in 4K, I have a 64 gigabyte card in here. It'll only record for 3 hours on a 64 gigabyte card. So that will give you a pretty good idea. So how about we talk about the specs? Let's power this off. It powers off the same way as a standard GoPro. So let's go ahead and talk about the specs. Okay, here is your specs for the GoPro Hero 4. As you can see, the different frame rates here available. The one on the left is for NTSC, and the one on the right is PAL, as well as your field of view and your screen resolution. And your video format is in an H.264 codec or an MP4 format. But when you do video and photo, you can capture time-lapse photos at the same time, intervals of 5, 10, 30, and 60 seconds for the photo and video. Now, there's your photo modes. You can get them up to 12 megapixel only. Continuous shots, multi-shot mode, burst rates, night lapse, I say the Pro Tune you're able to do like the minimally compressed semi-caliber video. It gives you advanced controls, basically. It allows you to do. It will allow you to do the white balance and the color and the ISO limit and sharpness, shutter, exposure value, conversation, and stuff like that. What that means is the ISO, you can tune the sensitivity in low light. The sharpness is you can the sharpness, you can control the sharpness of the video, of course. Shutter, you can do night and time lapse. You can change how long the shutter is open. Of course, EV compensation. Here are your battery times. Now on 4K, I'm sorry, I was looking at the backpack times when I looked at it. But on 4K, you can get 2 hours out of this thing with the Wi-Fi off. 3 hours with the backpack. But as I do most of my recording, I do it down here in 720p or 1080p. You can get about the same amount of time out of it. Don't ask me why. It makes no actual sense as to why you can get only an hour and 55 minutes on 720p and 2 hours on 4K. That's 720p at 120 frames a second to boot. You know, it comes down. You can buy aftermarket battery packs that are a little bit larger, so you can get a little bit more time out of them. Plus, you throw on the addition of the backpack on there, and it makes a big difference. You know, AAC compression for the audio. It does take a Class 10 or U1 rated card, and that's required. And it only records, only accepts up to a 64 gigabyte, just like the other GoPros. So the good news is most of your stuff will still work on the Hero 4 that you have already for your Hero 3. Now, also, on your, because of the fact that they're the exact same size, on your accessories, you can still use the same stuff. Like this is the dive housing for the Hero 3, and the Hero 4 does fit. So you can still use the standard dive housings. It's the exact same camera dimensionally. So the camera really hasn't changed. They just made some updates and improvements, so such as it has better video quality, it has better audio quality, it does have a few more bells and whistles than this. Now, the Hero 4, the wireless on this, for controlling it, you can use Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. This is Wi-Fi only, so it limits it on what you can do with the Hero 3 compared to the Hero 4. So being a Hero 4, you can actually use Bluetooth. Now what's nice is you're supposed to be able to use this, shoot your video. If you use the app on your phone, you can actually upload directly to Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that to your heart's content. So it makes uploading a little faster, a little easier. So what do you say we turn this on and check out the video quality? This is the video from the Hero 4. Now this is the this is 4K. This is that super wide shot that they talk about. Now keep in mind the camera we were using before, we were using this, and it was set on 720p. This does a pretty good wide shot, but this does a much wider shot. So you can kind of see the idea behind this. Once again, we're in 4K, we're in wide shot, 15 frames a second. And actually, it's kind of nice having the viewfinder because I can actually see what I'm looking at here. It's pretty nice. It's not just hold it up and point in the general vicinity just like I did with this. I mean, this here, we have no way of knowing. I don't have a LCD touchback for it, so just kind of have to point the general direction and hope it's on film. But this is nice. This is the reason why I bought this camera. You know, it was simply because of it has a touch screen on it. You know, it has the viewfinder screen. And actually, this was a Christmas gift, so one less camera I had to buy. So, this is the new Hero 4 Silver Edition. It's a very nice camera. I like it because of the fact of I can still use all of my accessories I currently have in here. So, nothing's really changed on the camera. They just made it a little better. So, my impressions of it are, I like it. I actually like it a lot. So there you go, the brand new GoPro Hero 4 in 4K.